Hello everyone, my name is Troy Coomer, and I was assigned the topic poor listening in the workplace, and these are real work examples and solutions. So my intro, like I said, I'll be giving you 3 real world examples of poor listening in the workplace and the problems that are associated with it, 3 potential solutions to these examples, and then obviously the conclusion. I'm a huge Kobe guy, as you can see with the picture. My room is decked out in Lakers stuff, so that's why I thought it was fitting to do the him and Shaq waving. So example number 1, the first thing I'll bring up is the willingness from higher-ups to listen to their employees. To me, the first step in solving listening issues in the workplace is just the willingness to listen. I highlight this in my paper a couple times, where the first step in anybody listening to you or even listening to other people is your willingness to listen. You can hear something and not listen to it. So I think that's a huge part number 1 of solving this would be obviously the willingness to listen. So this year, there are 3 days early voting in which I'll have to work. So there's 3 early voting days with the pandemic. It's the 12th through the 14th, and I have to work all 3 days. They're 12-hour shifts. You know, it's no joke. And so my boss called me in there. I had no input on it. Okay, so I had to kind of just go in there, accept what was given to me, these 3 straight 12-hour shifts working by myself alongside of her. And that can be tough. It can be a little bit frustrating to an extent of not having the willingness from the higher up to, even communicate with me, maybe listen to a couple days that I think would work best, or it's a Thursday through Saturday, so it's really not awful, but just the willingness to listen to me or just go out of the way to hear what I have to say. So a solution to solve this issue would be for me to understand hierarchy boundaries. So obviously I am the lower tier. I do go over that in the paper as well. My work, it's obvious that there's a hierarchy, and I'm on the bottom tier. But I am deemed the election guy, so a lot of that stuff does get pinned on me. So I don't really have that much input. I made myself vulnerable by anticipating something that was not earned. So I need to be better by that. That's a solution, is me as a worker understanding the hierarchy boundaries. The good news, though, the book states an employee can move up over time. Upward communication is another potential solution. So just listening to those on the lower chain. So just, again, the willingness from the higher ups to listen to the people on the bottom. Example 2, it is no secret that at my job there's a hierarchy. Just kind of bouncing off that again. Normally the boss will tell Tina something, who is second in command, and then Tina will inform the rest of us. So in this particular example, the boss had to tell us that she was going out of the office. And so she called us all in. Okay, I highlight that in the paper, all of us. She doesn't normally do this, so she highlighted it, so I made sure to highlight that. So Andrea picks up the phone after our boss had already told us she'd be out of the office for a couple days. And she picks up the phone, and the lady was asking to meet with Tracy. She said, okay, you can come in anytime after lunch. She's normally here. Hangs up the phone. So that customer comes in anticipating to meet with Tracy. And then we had to tell him, like, hey, listen, like, we're not sure what happened, but Tracy's not going to be here for a couple days. We're sorry for the inconvenience. And they had traveled about 30 minutes, I think is what they said. They were pretty upset. They threw a pretty big fit, which, we can't blame them. So again, just listening to Tracy, Andrea just listening to Tracy kind of caused more of a problem, a very avoidable problem. So creating a shared meeting goes a long way in solving this issue. That simply means similar understanding of information among participants involved in the interaction. So everybody just understanding the simple concept that she was not going to be there. Understanding shared areas of all parties involved, again, including the importance of what is being said as a key solution to the problem. So again, just having the willingness to listen. Example number 3, while I cover a lot on this paper on employee to employee or boss to employee, the willingness to listen in the workplace can also come from a consumer to an employee or a customer to us. So when doing any transactional based on this is critical. So listening to a customer. Example, my girlfriend works at a bank here in Warsaw. And an example, I asked her, I said, hey, so like what would be an example of bad listening in your workplace, like poor listening in your workplace? So she gave me the example of transferring money from either checking to a savings, vice versa, or just anything to do with a transactional base with money. And how they can be put into the wrong account just based on not listening to the customer. And it creates an issue with the customer of why weren't you listening to me with that? And word of mouth in this town, it's a really small town here in Warsaw, Kentucky, and word of mouth travels faster than anything around here. So it was huge down here, and she's a small bank, so that's a negative. That's a really negative connotation that you do not want to have on your bank. So just the simple listening to the customer and being very, very strategic in what you're doing just to make sure everything gets done in a proper manner. A solution to this example would be to listen, and I use Listen Linda because I think this is a beautiful example. I'm not going to go into too much detail of just listening, but I know at times it can be hard to fully engage with customers and be fully immersed into what they're saying, because a lot of the times customers will just come in there thinking they know something that they don't. So it can be hard to be fully engaged and fully invested in what is going on. But again, just highlighting, word of mouth travels fast. Listening and executing what a customer wants can avoid any unnecessary conflict, size situation. It is completely avoidable if we just pay closer attention to what is going on. So again, just that simple willingness to be in the moment, listen, and pay close attention to what's going on. In conclusion, when you talk about poor listening in the workplace, it is important to highlight that there are many problems that stem deeper than just the day-to-day conversations between employees or from boss to employee. It all comes with a willingness to just hear what is going on, but not to just hear what's going on, but to intently listen and put your focus into it. So again, be willing to listen, regardless of the position, class, race, or title. Be willing to listen. It's a key fundamental of what we all should be. It's just wanting to listen. So thank you.